We talked about this before the show. You are looking at one game in particular as an upset that you think is going to happen. I'm looking at another one. So give us yours. I'll give you mine, and then we can talk about which one would be the bigger upset or worse for which the team that gets beat.
This is not, I know people go, oh, he hates Matthew Stafford, whatever. No, I don't hate Matthew Stafford. I think if you're just being honest, Chris, forget about me working in Detroit or whatever. Was I not spot on about him? Not that he couldn't play.
So far, you were.
Okay.
So far,
am I
you
right?
were. Right.
My scouting report.
You never said he's garbage.
I never said he was
he's
garbage.
He's just not elite. He's not, on that Brady, Mahomes, Rodgers level. Like
and
a lot
that's
of people
where they put him. Am I right? Before the season started. And that's the only thing I said, pump the brakes. He's not that guy. Until he wins a playoff game, has a run, makes some big plays in playoff games, then I'll change my mind. I'm open to change my mind if he has a playoff run and plays well, but I'm not surprised at what we saw. And I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals. I know they limped to the finish line, but they're a better team on the road. Chris, go look at their splits.
No, they're 8-1 on the road.
8-1. Where did they have all their problems? At home. They were 7-0 when the Packers showed up and lost at home. They lost to the Rams at home. They beat the Rams in L.A. convincing fashion. And here's the other thing. Let's put Stafford to the side. Last year, the Rams went into the playoffs, Chris, with the number one defense and gave up 30-some-odd to the Packers last year.
Right.
This year, their defense isn't nearly where it was a year ago.
Right.
And I think Kyler Murray is going to present problems. He's not your standard regular quarterback. He can force the issue. He can make things happen. I think that's where this defense, which we saw, had a game in hand when San Francisco took the game over in the second half. And sure, Stafford threw the picks, but the defense couldn't stop them, not stop them. And I'm telling you, I'm concerned about the Rams defense, and they are just a 500 team. I think they're 6-5 when Stafford throws a pick, and they haven't lost if he has a clean game. Stafford will give it up, Chris, at least one time. I'm predicting at least a big turnover in a moment. Kyler Murray's the difference, and the Rams defense disappoints, and it's a scary scenario because this whole thing was built on them going to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, I mean, they gave up not only Jared Goff, a two-time Pro Bowler who got them to the Super Bowl, but also 2 first-round picks, Rob, and a third. So they mortgaged their future. Now, I've said their window to win a Super Bowl. It's not about just getting there because Goff got them there. The window to win a Super Bowl is 2 to 3 years. So I won't kill them if they don't win it this year, but if they go out in the first round, that's a different story. You got further last year with Goff.
Oh, no. Right. If you get knocked out, oh, no, you're right.
Right. So I'm going with the Rams this weekend. I think they will win. Arizona, yeah, they played much better at home, but they also struggled. When they struggled at the end, losing 4 of their last 5, one of those was on the road to Detroit. So they struggled at home and on the road late in the season. I'm going with the Rams, but my upset, Rob, I've got San Francisco. People might be surprised to hear this because, I like Dak, but I'm going with who I think is going to win. I got San Francisco beating Dallas, and I think their physical play.
I'm shocked by that.
Just that I picked it, or you just think it's clearly cut for Dallas?
No. I'm shocked that you're picking against Dallas and Dak, and considering that what they've been able to do, and the year they
I was torn, and I said this on the show. That I've been torn. I've gone back and forth. I was with San Francisco, then Dallas, then back and forth. But I'm sticking with San Francisco. And look, I think Dallas isn't quite as good as everybody's hyping them up to be. Rob, they beat up on weak competition in their division. And credit them, that's what you should do.
No, I get
But
it.
they were 6-0 in the division. Rob, they were 6-5 outside of the division.
See, that scares you, right? That is scary.
And so I think San Francisco's arguably the most physical team in the league. They certainly pushed the Rams around. I think they're going to be able to run on the Cowboys. And I think that they will be able to stop the Cowboys' run because that defense is really good against the run. So if they shut down Zeke and Pollard, now you're putting it on Dak. And I don't know if the calf injury still bothers him. He's had some big games against bad teams. He beat up on Philadelphia's backups last week, beat up on the Washington football team, but we know he had kind of struggled before that, Rob. So, look, I'm not going to be upset if Dallas wins because, it's a good story and they got a pretty good team. But I just think the way San Francisco's playing, won 7 of their last 9, I think they're tailor-made to take out the Cowboys. So you got the Cowboys in that one?
Yeah, I'm still betting. No, I got the 49ers. I'm sorry, 49ers.
Okay.
I'm with you. Yeah, I think that's a good pick. The 49ers, they can do a lot. They can run the football. Jimmy Garoppolo, they've turned the corner. You remember how bad they were. And that comeback against the Rams was impressive. Was just so impressive.
No doubt.
So I can't think that they're going to revert. I don't know. Dallas just –
it's a close game. Jimmy G's got to play clean too. Much as we both kind of like Jimmy G, he wins, but he's not elite either. He makes some mistakes, and if I'm Dallas, I'm trying to shut down the run, which is easier said than done, and make Jimmy G beat me. I'm trying to make Jimmy G throw 35 times, and if that can happen, I think that helps Dallas's chance of winning. But let me throw this at you, Rob. Let's say we're both right. Who's it worse for, Dallas or the Rams? Both of them would be upset in wild card weekend, first round. Both of them had designs on reaching the Super Bowl. Who do you think it would be worse for?
I think it would be worse for the Rams. And I know the Cowboys, Chris, have won 4 playoff games since in the last 25 years and whatnot, and people had some expectations for them. But the Rams, their goal was to get to the Super Bowl. They made the moves. Von Miller's not getting any younger. We don't know where OBJ is going to be next year. You start to look at the Rams, their defense. We talked about it. A year ago, come playoff time, they were the number 1 defense in the league. They're probably, Rob G, can you find out the middle of the pack, 12, 14, 13, somewhere like that. So are they getting better or worse? And I think Darnold and those guys are maybe covering up for a defense that's getting Jalen Ramsey. Chris, that's not getting better. That's getting worse. And Stafford proved not, if they lose, not to be the Messiah, not to be the guy. Right. And you start to get worried that if he's not that guy and you gave up all you gave up and you don't win it this year, is it a guarantee you're going to be there next year or the year after? You start to question if you got the right guy.
Right, because we're not talking about not winning the Super Bowl. We're talking about not getting out of the first round.
Exactly.
That's the thing. They win a couple playoff games, and nobody's going to kill Stafford.
If they, because remember he's 0-3. So if he wins a playoff game, you start to say, okay. Now here's the other thing too, Chris. Real quick, the number is the Cardinals are 5-3 against teams 500 or better, and the Rams are 3-5. And in the playoffs, you play the better teams. Right. That's the scary part about the Rams.
No, it's interesting. It's a good number. I'm with you. I think it would be worse for the Rams for all the reasons you said. But it'll seem worse for the Cowboys, Rob, because of Jerry Jones. He's already come out and said several times it's Super Bowl or bust for us. He just drips.
Does that mean
drama,
Mike McCarthy's in trouble?
I mean,
would they fire him if they lose in the first round?
I don't think so, because Jerry loves him, obviously. Because remember, he said a few weeks ago he deserves credit for getting us back on track and us having this great season. Give him his credit. And Rob, he doesn't push back on Jerry basically being involved in everything, right?
Well, that's the way you stick around.
Right. That's what Jason Garrett, that helped them stick around, right? So unless the only possible way, and I don't even know if this would do it, Rob, but if they lose, because everybody criticizes Mike McCarthy for his clock and time management, right? That's his issues. If there's an egregious error that he commits that clearly cost him the game, it's not, oh, yeah, okay, he should have called timeout. He didn't, but whatever. But if it's directly related, a loss to him blowing a call at some point, then maybe, because they also might lose Kellen Moore, who's a hot young offensive coordinator, right? He could get a head coaching job. Dan Quinn could get a head coaching job.
Right. There's jobs galore out there.
So if that happens, does Jerry say, you know what? I don't want to lose Kellen. McCarthy just made this huge mistake.
No, that could happen.
You know what I mean? So I think that's possible. But I think, Rob, Jerry's going to cause drama, so it's going to seem like the sky is falling, as it always does with the Cowboys. But I think if you sit back, if they lose, you sit back and look at it, you can say, look, Dak had injury issues. We got, the defense improved a lot. It's only going to get better. Micah's only going to get better.
The only problem is Ezekiel Elliott. You don't think he's getting better. He's going the other way.
And what I look at doing, honestly, because you can't cut him yet. It would be too much on the dead cap money next year. I would look at reversing the roles, though. Tony Pollard now the top back, Ezekiel the second back. It might be tough. Zeke might not be able to handle it, but that's what I look at doing.